Okay, and welcome back to what will be episode 3 of Let's Play a Democratic Italy, or at least we're trying to push towards a democratic Italy. We're currently still fascist, so we've sent some volunteer units to nationalist Spain. We've managed to capitulate the Ethiopians. We're bringing those troops home. We've garrisoned them in Italy. And let's unpause the game. We have one more research slot. I'm going to go for mobile warfare doctrine. We're going to switch over to mobile warfare. I like mobile warfare. I think that'll be good. Mobile warfare was the way to go forward in World War II, really, wasn't it? We certainly don't have the manpower and material for mass assaults or anything being Italy. So there we are. Let's let the game tick over. We did start working towards democracy. Democratic stirrings in Italy abound, as Mussolini should be getting a little bit worried, I think. But what can we do with this research power? Let's put it into tank design, because we are researching towards a more heavy tank doctrine to assist with our mobile warfare. Tanks are mobile, so let's concentrate on mobile warfare and tank design. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. That's just common sense in my mind. Now, we should have some more units being produced. Yes, we have an infantry division here. Let's add that to the Home Defence Army in the Italian theatre. Let's rename this, because you're not Army Group any North anymore, are you, De Bono? You've come back from Ethiopia. Let's just call you Army Group Italy. There we go. There we go. Madrid is about to fall to the nationalists. Good, I suppose, in a way. That is good for us. Speed the game up a little bit and see what happens. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when we flip towards democracy, but here we go. This could be my question answered. Public call for elections. The demonstrations of public dissent, which were once confined to limited areas, are now widespread. While people gather in the streets, the Partito Nazionale Fascista finds itself at a crossroads. If we continue allowing this propaganda to spread, the referendums suggested both from within the party itself as well as the opposition may show that we do not have the support of the public. The unity we have strived for is giving way to plurality of opinions united against us. So even if reform is happening, we must show our strength by suppressing its defiance. No. We're going to lose 20 political power, but we gain the national spirit of democratic opposition voicing protests, which grants political power gain minus 50%. Daily democracy support is increased. We're going to go for that. We're going to work towards a democratic Italy. We're tired of these offensive wars and the oppression of poor Ethiopian people. We don't want this. We don't want this in Italy. The only person who wants this is Mussolini. And hopefully he'll be gone soon. Let's have a look. So we're still 58% fascist. But the Democratic Party's at 40% already. So that's good. Okay, mechanical computing. Increases our research. Now we can't really do anything here. Oh, we've got concentrated infantry and support weapons as well. Can't do anything really here until 1938 now. It's still 1936. What can we do in industry? It's very nearly 37 though, so let's put it into construction. It's ahead of time, but only slightly. Let's get some better support equipment and some better infantry equipment. Let's make some rapid advances in the equipment that our troops have got. Italian highways are built. So what does that mean for us? Let's have a look at our national focus. Italian highways are built, basically improved infrastructure in Italy, basically. Now we can prospect for oil, which is what I'm going to do, which will give us production of 8 oil in Libya, which is definitely what we want to do. Okay, the Anti-Comintern Pact. Germany proposes that we sign a pact recognising that the aim of the Communist International, known as the Comintern, is to disintegrate and subdue existing states by all means at its command. Convinced that the toleration of interference by the communists excuse me, international in the internal affairs of the nations not only endangers their internal peace and social well-being, but it's also a menace to the peace of the world, desirous of cooperating in the defence against communist subversive activities. Okay, I hope that made sense. I don't think I read it very well. So do we join the Comintern? That is going to annoy the Soviet Union. Did Britain join the anti-Comintern pact? I'm going to refuse. Okay, it means Germany won't like us very much. But we're playing a Mussolini here who is distrustful of Hitler. Which he was, to a certain extent. I don't know if Italy signed the anti-Comintern pact in real life or not. I suppose we should, seeing as we were fighting for nationalist Spain. But oh well, it's done now. I didn't want to anger the Soviet Union. It can't be long till Republican Spain capitulates here. We have 3 civilian factories. What exactly are we constructing at the minute? Just 1 more civilian factory. Let's build some more civilian factories. 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 6. Let's get them built. Get those civilian factories built so we can switch the economy or the industry over to military once World War II is well and truly on the go. My voice is starting to go. I've done a lot of recording today and my voice is starting to go, so this will probably be the last episode I record today. Prospect for oil. So details on this. Adds production of 8 oil insert. Do we still have a deficit of oil? We do, minus 15, but this is going to help, of course. So our national focus now will be Libyan refineries, which will give us 2 building slots and 2 synthetic refineries in Benghazi. Also adds 4 production of oil in Benghazi, and then Libyan infrastructure. I don't know if we'll go for that, but we're certainly going to go for Libyan oil refineries. Any infrastructure that we invest in Libya is going to be pretty safe, assuming that we do flip to democracy, because France and the United Kingdom, historical AI focuses are on, they should stay democratic. But we'll see what happens. Surely once the nationalists reach the coast here, Madrid falls. The Republicans will give up. Okay, they've reached the coast up here, but Madrid is still holding out. Okay, so we have a new type of tank now. Let's just pause the game here. Where are we on tank production research? Okay, there are no really any more heavy tanks until 1941. Should we start producing some of these tanks? We should certainly turn production over to these new source of tanks. We don't have any spare factories, and we're producing 8 of these tanks a year, which is pathetic. We need oh, Italian industry is so bad, so bad. Their production efficiency is quite low because they've just started obviously working on a new type of tank. They're not very efficient at making these tanks yet. We need to change our template. We have 20 army experience. I wonder if we can change our armor division template to incorporate heavy tanks. Yes, we can. Given how slowly we're producing these tanks, let's just leave it at 1 company of tanks for the moment. So basically what's happening now is we have a surplus of light tanks. We have 300 of them in storage. But what we need, we're short of 200 heavy tanks. And we're not producing them quick enough. But as our production efficiency goes up, hopefully that'll address that. Hopefully. I don't know. We can start building military factories soon and up the production of our tanks anyway. To that end, what are we going to research? Shall we look at aircraft? We should probably 1936. Should we get better fighters? Better tactical bombers? Can't really get better close air support aircraft. These BA-65s are pretty good anyway. These fighters though are pretty weak. Let's look at commissioning a more modern fighter force. Let's do that. And we're not actually producing fighters either, are we? We are producing close air support aircraft. God, we have so few factories. Unbelievable. Okay, here, further developments in the democracy front. Surprisingly, the call for more referendums and less repressive measures against opponents of the regime has received some support in internal party discussions. Really? Really would it though in a fascist society? Everyone would be too scared to do this, wouldn't they? While Partito Nazionale Fascista leadership remains sceptical, several influential members have supported this shift. Perhaps they are confident. Perhaps they have confidence that little will change in practice, or perhaps they are secretly traitors in the party cause, as many of their opponents would have it. Regardless, if the public call for such changes should come, some of the leaders of Italy are ready to compromise. So again, this is another step towards a democratic reform. God, we've got -3 political power. We're literally generating no political power because of this push for democracy. I don't know what we can do about that. We've gone some way to balance out our deficit of oil though. We're now only -9. We're short of rubber, but only slightly. We're now producing 1 heavy tank a month. We only need 200 of them. But production efficiency is rising up. And I think once these civilian factories are done, we're going to start producing military factories, purely to produce military equipment. Right, come on, nationalist Spain. Surely you've got this in the bag. Madrid has fallen. It can't be long now. It cannot be long now. Okay, Libyan refineries are complete. The Hindenburg incident. Disaster was narrowly averted today when a diesel fuel leak was discovered on the German passenger airship Hindenburg as it came to dock at the Lakenhurst Naval Air Station in the United States. Well, there you go. The Hindenburg was not destroyed in this alternate history. We need a new national focus. Let's steer away from the industrial focuses now and look at something else. Not too worried about the Navy. A lot of these are going to be redundant if we're going democracy, so let's concentrate on improving the efficiency of our army and modernising it, because it is 1936 and the Italian army is pretty far behind the drag curve. Army primacy will give us military factories. Good. Let's do that. Let's concentrate on modernising the Italian army. So we've got more modern tanks in production. We've got more modern aircraft on the drawing board, and we're trying to modernise the army too. It can't be long now. I think once Malaga falls, certainly Barcelona. Once Barcelona falls, it's all over. Still not producing any tactical bombers. Just don't have the factories. Okay, good. Construction 2 is complete. Let's choose another research. It is 1937 now, so we can concentrate on factory output. Start improving that. World tension is actually dropping. Amelia Earhart does circumnavigate the globe and doesn't get lost this time. Let's have a quick look at relations. Everybody loves Italy now. Well, at least everybody's neutral. Leadership purges in the Soviet Union. Uncertainty has long reigned in the Soviet Union. While details are scarce, there's been a series of secret trials at the highest level. So this is Stalin's purge of a lot of military leaders in the Soviet Union, which obviously went a long way to damage things. We have some spare factories now. We have 2 extra spare factories. Let's put them into tank production, because we still are short of heavy tanks by 195. Our national focus will move towards modernised artillery. That ties in with the army, which gives us research bonuses on artillery, and we can work down towards modernised army before we start researching new types of army units. There we go. And here's the world. July the 31st, 1937. Mobile warfare is done. What's next on mobile warfare? You'll see now we have a discount on this one. Delay tactics. Improves organisation. Sounds good to me. How many factories do we still have in production? Still another 4. Let's wait for them to complete, and then we'll start building military factories in the south of Italy, because we don't trust Hitler. I can't believe world tension's dropping. What's going on? What is going on? Right, have we got any more army units produced? We have 2 infantry divisions here. Let's attach them to the home army. Yeah, once we convert these factories over, we'll be able to start producing aircraft, artillery, more tanks, that kind of stuff. So modernised artillery is in. Gives us a research bonus to support artillery. Modernised army. Let's go for that. Let's modernise our armed forces. They do alright against the Ethiopians with spears and bows and some ancient rifles, but we need a modern army if we're going to compete with more westernised nations. Okay, the Marco Polo bridge incident. So this is the Japanese and Chinese squaring off against each other. There's been some kind of border dispute there or something. Democrats demand a referendum. Unsurprisingly, the idea of people ruling the nation they inhabit can easily grow very popular among the people. The Partito Nazionale Fascista, of course, sees the idea of democracy as represented by these movements: freedom of speech, public elections, free press, merely populist rhetoric meant to weaken Benito Mussolini's government. Well, it kind of is. However, there is no denying those ideas have taken hold among the Italian population. In true democratic fashion, they call for a public referendum on replacing the current regime. Oh God, here we go. Although currently easy to ignore, these ideas have a way of growing and becoming very persistent. What will happen to us if we make a peaceful revolution possible? Will we get a peaceful revolution? So these are my options. I could round them up. Okay, which gives political power minus 100. Changing the popularity of democracy minus 10. We don't want that. Just proceed as usual. National unity drops by 10%. If we accept the referendum, perhaps we can preserve our legacy. Fascism defeated, which grants national unity plus 10 for 730 days. Politics will change, and we will switch over to a democratic government. So that's exactly what we want to do. Our new modern fighters are finished and ready to go into production if we want. And we've changed. Here we are. Mussolini has been ousted somehow in a bloodless coup. Well, not a bloodless coup, a democratic, of all things, democratic vote, referendum. And he's gone. And now we're being ruled by a democratically elected leader, Ferruccio Parri, and we are democratic. There you go. That's a nice conclusion to this episode, I think. We should probably withdraw our nationalist, our volunteers in nationalist Spain, and start working towards relations with democratic countries. Let's have a quick look at relations here. Yeah, look, Germany is a very bad opinion of us now, because we've gone towards democracy and not fascism. Well, there you go. The civil war in Spain still rages on. Italy somehow has democratically become a democratic country. And that's where we leave off as we move into the next episode, which will be episode 4. Tune in for that one, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.